Hey everyone, welcome to Alpha for Everyone. Let's let that run for a bit more on repeat. You have Brendan here, you have Paul here. We're testing out a new streaming platform and we're consecutively live on Telegram, YouTube, and our X account. Really exciting agenda for you guys today. We're going to be talking about updates to BART, our backtesting program, some backtesting strategies that we've uploaded that everyone will be able to take advantage of in the coming days. Brendan's been busy with some big UI UX updates for Gopher as a whole. And the big one, which you launched just this morning, Brendan, is API, exposing API for Gopher products. And then Paul's here with us to take us through some live trading updates. I'm going to pause this video and hand it over to you guys to say hello.
I'll let Paul dive in first. I'm just reposting the tweet.
Yeah, hi everybody. Happy to be here. Looking forward to giving you an update. I've been doing some live trading in the last few days. I'm over in California with the team, so we're making some really good progress. We do very well as a remote working team, but we're doing exceptionally well working face-to-face this week and next week. So yeah, looking forward to giving you an update.
Always good to be in person. I'm looking forward to joining you guys from Sunday next week.
Yeah, Sunday, it's good. And Paul and I'll be switching mics because Paul's actually behind me, even though it looks like I'm sat by Paul here, which I'm with Paul, not sat by Paul. So such a dad joke. I'm really sorry. Yeah, good to see everyone today. Hope you're all surviving everything right now. I was saying this morning that I think we're really starting to see the like being in this AI bubble and coding and working within it and moving as fast as everything's moving right now it's very, very, very intense. Like I put out a post, I think on X a few days ago, where I was like, it's more exhausting working today than what I think it is normally, because there's a combination of feeling like there's a ton of opportunity that you don't want to miss out on, but also just being able to execute on, high volumes of work is actually quite addictive, and can really suck you in at crazy times. All throughout the day, it's just like, oh yeah, I've got this idea, and just doing the idea is so easy. You get consumed by it. But I think we've all been very aware of the fact that stuff is changing really quickly. And I think when we look at like the US job openings today, I just want to talk about that for a minute. Let's see if I can pull up what it was today. 5 hours ago. Is this the actual data? I did want to have this. I don't have it at the tip of my finger, so maybe I'll come back to it. But the number of job openings that were expected this report was lower than the market expected, and if you look across the markets today, like there is just pain everywhere, pain in stocks, pain in metals, pain just everywhere. And it's, I think, imperative when you're in markets like this that are highly volatile, because with what we're trying, not what we're trying to build, what we're building at Gopher is a product that doesn't give a shit what the market's doing. It just cares if there's volatility, and if there's volatility, there's money to be made in kind of whatever direction the market presents itself, as long as you manage risks, as long as you kind of take an objective view. And yeah, kind of excited to kind of go through some of the new products today and sort of look at the market more broadly. So great to see everyone. And Zach, why don't you kind of like run through what we've got on the agenda for today? We can dive into it.
Hey everyone. So there's been some important updates with our backtesting platform, BART. And was thinking maybe, Brendan, we could kick off talking a little bit about some of the out-of-the-box strategies that you've developed and that the community will be able to take advantage of. So if everyone's aware, BART is a backtesting tool we've already launched, and I will put up in a second the QR code that will allow you to go straight to the GitHub and start utilizing it. We've had a lot of the community already in there and testing and running evolutions for backtesting strategies. But what's really interesting is we've been testing and building out some specifically for Tau, and we'll be releasing those. Hopefully, I don't want to speak too soon, Brendan, but let me know when those will be ready.
I'm going to hit go public on the repo right now.
All right.
Live. Yeah.
Sweet. Yeah, Brendan, if you could fill people in on exactly what those are and why we're really excited about releasing them to the community and what they can potentially do it when it comes to agent integrations.
Yeah. So through our internal testing, and I'm aware that in the community there's still, for longer runs with the tool that we've got, especially on Mac, there are some issues that cause it to crash on like a very long run because the amount of memory the run consumes. Still working on a fix for that, but I'm confident we'll get a fix dialed in for that in the next like week or so. And thanks for bearing with us. Those of you that are testing, really appreciate the patience and what you're doing in order to test it. But throughout our kind of testing, we've obviously surfaced some pretty good strategies. Now, bear in mind, and I'm trying to see if I can participate in this chat. I can see the chat. Maybe that's
on the right. There should be a button.
Yeah, this is just a new problem. I think I can go into X and do it. 1 second. I think I know how to get here. Let's see.
Yeah, everyone bear with us as we're testing out a new, more powerful platform that allows us to multi-stream. We're just figuring out the interface, so there may be a few teething problems here today.
Yeah, so I think that in the chat you'll see me I just shared a GitHub link. Yeah, that works. Okay, great. It's kind of weird that maybe there is a way of sharing it in the actual platform, but I did that through X.
I can see it in the platform chat feed. So
great. Yeah. So what this repo contains, it contains some of the examples of the better performing strategies that we've had output from our own internal testing. It's not extensive. And this is really kind of teeing us up for something that Paul and I have been really thinking about over the last kind of 48 hours, which is we're going to move really quickly in the next week to a and let me just share my screen so as we can kind of walk through this a little bit. We're going to move very quickly to a marketplace for strategies. So can you see my screen? You should be able to see the GitHub. Okay, amazing. Oh yeah, that's much better resolution. Wow. That is great. That looks pretty clear, doesn't it? I think it does to me. Still going to zoom in a little.
It does. Big improvement from
from the last one. So what we've got here is like a folder with BTC and Tau. These have all come from pretty long time frames. You can see each of these folders have like a results file. You can see the run ID that I did this. You can see the model that's used. You can see when the run started, when it went to. So this is from the 22nd of December until the 16th of January. It's likely we'll run some more strategies that cover like the 16th or end of the month to now, because obviously the regime has changed a little bit. But it just gives you kind of representative idea of like how the this particular prompt or fine-tuning model performed on this asset, and shows all of the trades that this would have taken. And as Paul will show you in a moment, it's very easy to now move these strategies into live trading and then have live trading execute them for you. And we're rolling out pretty aggressively our own internal live trading strategies. And we'll be doing live trading with initially modest amounts of capital, so on the smaller side, but then over time scaling that up. And you'll see that this kind of like strategy sharing feature will slowly develop. We're looking at like 5 to 7 days slowly. Like it's weird that seems slow now. It's like not today. I mean, maybe if no, it won't be today. We'll start having a marketplace, and the marketplace means that as you all generate strategies, similar to how on TradingView there are indicators that are sold by traders, you'll be able to put your strategies that you're selling. You'll either be able to license them for multiple people to use, or you can sell the entire strategy in a bundle. So it's going to create a marketplace around trading strategies that are built out using the product. And even if you're not looking to trade them and you discover you've got some really good backtesting strategies, you can then put them on the marketplace. So maybe there's like an auction that the strategies go through. You can then buy and hold the strategy if you want it kind of exclusively to yourself, or there'll be a way of creating maybe like 5 licenses for it. So If any of you know like the Market Cipher algo, which is CryptoFace on Twitter, his algo sells for quite a lot of money. So you can all kind of see that, like, from the work that you're doing and the research you're putting in and the discovery you're doing, going to create this new like marketplace around strategies. And in the context of our platform, the strategy is the prompt married with the LLM, because the prompt kind of matches the LLM. So you've got access to these now. I've shared the link. It's just these 5. These are all ones that performed really, really well in backtesting. We are deploying these at the moment to live trading as well. And you know, they're pretty regime specific. So you could take one of these strategies and you could put it into like the pure backtest here. Let me just minimize this. So hang on, I'm struggling here to drag this across. If you take a look at backtest, you'll be able to, there's a scrolling bug there. Interesting, we'll fix that. You'll be able to take one of these prompts, put it into the single backtest or into Monte Carlo. Since I added these additional indicators, this is broken. And then validate the strategy for the current time frame if you want. Like, you could run it over the last 3 days to see how it performed over the last 3 days. And then you could add it as like an evolution prompt here. So you're kind of starting with the strategy and then run it between, you know, instead of running over the date range that we've got, you could run it between like the 2nd of February and the 5th of February here. Let's do tau, this. Let's go for this guy that performed well. I'm gonna go to the prompt here. I'm gonna copy this. And I'm gonna pop it into the seed here. This doesn't mean it's going to replicate this. It's going to use this strategy prompt as a seed for an evolution that it will set itself. I also want to take a look here, and I want to look to see what time frames we were using. I wonder if that's on here. So intervals 15 minutes. Does this have time frames on this output? Interesting. If it doesn't, we need to add that as a field. Let's take a look here. This gives us the overview. Interesting. Time. So that's missing. We need to add, I know it's the defaults. It's like this 15-minute. I know it's the default here, 15-minute, 1 hour, 4 hour. So that's something we should add. I'm going to leave all the other defaults the same, and I'm going to start the evolution, confirm start, access. And what this is going to do, it's going to use the prompt from the strategy to seed the evolution. So the main agent, the orchestrator, will use the prompt that we know was good to start this next evolution, and it will run continuously, and it will create a prompt or a strategy that sort of matches or mimics this. So as you go through this, you can kind of really build on top of the outputs, and you can use some of these as inputs for you know, testing and refining it over, let's say, the last week of data. This was run over a month of data, thereabouts. So yeah, excited to get out to you all. And as I'm discovering here through demoing, there's a few little edge cases that we've got to clean up. So like scrollability on Monte Carlo, scrollability on backtesting, and then we want to have intervals, timeframes on the outputs. So I'm going to write those down right now. Zach, any comments?
Yeah. I'm just so I understand. 2 things I'd want to clarify. In terms of the strategies that you just made available that people can download and then obviously upload to BART, those strategies were created with the current live version of BART. Is that correct? There's no bells and whistles hidden that we created those in dev. So yeah, I wanted to make that clear to everyone watching. Once you see those back strategies, BART, we've gone through this in previous demos, but BART affords you all the tooling and presets in order to create your own from scratch. And as Brendan mentioned, the marketplace will give you the ability to upload those. And then another question, Brendan, when you were talking about uploading, I'll call them the templates. I know that's not really the technically the right term. Can you apply the same strategy but to different assets? Is that what you were referring to and talking
Yeah,
about?
you can do. I mean, Paul was asking me this like last night. So how do I start thinking about what asset to test against? And we've got some ideas for like finding your way to the best asset to trade. And we're even going to add stocks and commodities very, very soon. Like one of our really big focuses to like get metals into the platform. It's ultimately, it's just adding a new data set. So it's not just crypto, but it just works the same. And I'll show you again. I'll remind everyone that on the actual trading assistant, it works for all commodities and stocks anyway. I know, Jack, you were doing a bit of content on that yesterday, but you could try that. I haven't done much research into that. I've typically, with a new asset, I look for high volatility. So volatility is your friend when you're trading a lot of the time. So, typically like Zcash, Tau, Bitcoin, right now is volatile, but between, let's say, the 16th and the 30th of December, it was low volatility, very sideways. And there wasn't really much, when we did a lot of testing, there wasn't really much opportunity there, much more opportunity on for example, Zcash during that period of time. So always looking for like volatility. You can use the discovery product to look at volatility, or just by like looking at the market and seeing what's got the most vol. So yeah, haven't tried trying it against other assets, but typically always used evolution to discover the best strategy for the asset, and not yet kind of cross-pollinating across different assets just yet.
Got it. Hot topic at the moment, and I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves, but we had a side conversation yesterday, Brendan, in terms of like potentially down the line, how you can utilize agents with these. It's on front of everyone's mind, so I want to bring it up. I know everyone's been seeing the storm on X with OpenClaw and all the rest of everything going on. What like hypothetically, like what could agents do with these files?
Yeah, OpenClaw and our friend Eva here as well.
Bring her in. There she is.
So she's saying, I'll keep her on the side over here. She's silenced at the moment because she'd be too busy chatting away in the background if we had her on. It's really interesting. Like I remember Grant on our team saying to me maybe 4 months ago, 5 months ago, when we were building out some data sets on our subnet, which scrapes a lot of exogenous data sources, that hypothesis was the biggest consumer of our data or consumers of data would be agents, as opposed to humans. And at the time we were using agents to create sentiment. And if you go onto our, let me pull it up one second, let me share my screen again. Yeah, if we take a look at sentiment here, all of the data that you're seeing on here is actually proactively scraped by an agent. So we have a specific framework that we use internally that is optimized for low power models. Like a lot of people using OpenClaw, or even as we've been testing, or I've been testing building Eva in my own time, the cost of running these platforms, I know, Zach, you've experienced this with you kind of user testing OpenClaw. The cost of using these agents is very high because Opus is really expensive. They're not optimized for token use, or low tokens. And what we have here is like a way that our LLM loops through the data, but essentially it will decide what to scrape and where to scrape it from. And we get this really nice kind of sentiment flow where the agent has actually decided, I'm going to look at Reddit data, I'm going to look at TikTok data, I'm going to scrape this data, that data. So it just kind of runs on autopilot. And this has been running now. I think Grant shipped this at the end of November. And we've just seen the usage of our product with this agent and other builders using agents just kind of skyrocket. So in the last week, with all of the hype, we have now, as of today opened up the entire platform with an API. So
Perfect segue.
yeah, so like this has gone live today. There's still a little bit more QA to do. Like we're going to do a little bit of adjustment on pricing to make sure that pricing is fitting and matches the rest of the products. But essentially, you can go into your settings. Like I will sign in here to my account and can generate an API key. So this will be like A4E demo. Generate the key, copy it, and I can then use it in either the API or I can use it in here. Validate. You can see that it's already connected to my account here. So right now I'm using inference through our system Gopher. It means I don't have to get an API anywhere else. It means if I want to use the credits elsewhere in the platform for doing like the trade assistant, for example. So giving you a quick demo that this was looking at NVIDIA yesterday, like to see what's kind of happening with NVIDIA. I can take a look at the NVIDIA market. Could also look at silver, for example. Just a note here that there are some assets in TradingView where you will find that you get a 500 error in the data. It's because the provider of the data is having issues. We're going to see if we can fix some of those bugs. So if when you're testing this, you go onto a certain asset, like a stock, and you get a 500 error, if you could just let us know, that really helps us kind of debug. Like for some reason, like the Pith network data feeds are notoriously bad, and we get a lot of errors. But here, like the BATS data feed this should flow through in a minute once this has been processed by the agent. And the same thing here, like if I want to kind of see what's going on with silver, like I want to see what like a higher time frame position. Let's take a look at NVIDIA here. So for intraday on NVIDIA, it's saying to wait for an entry. Risk reward right now isn't particularly great. Immediate bias is bearish. So like we're going from like a short-term consolidation. And if we kind of zoom out, let's just kind of see. Yeah, I mean, look, you can see here really easily, like, you know, what happens if this level is lost here? You know, we haven't got any support until down here. That's our next level here. So kind of see a head and shoulders forming here. Like I'm very bullish on NVIDIA because I can really see how much inference all of this stuff that we're building is having. But from a technical perspective, like it's looking like this is going to move to the downside. And like we could also say like position, we are thinking of building a long, and I'll tell you how this fits to what Zach was going to say, a long-term position that we hold for 5 years, let's say. What is our DCA strategy or entry? Now, obviously, I'm having to type all of this, right? Like I'm typing this, I'm synthesizing my brain. We need to now think about like, where is all of this going? The world is going in a way where the little robot, the cute robot that I showed you here, becomes your kind of companion. So in my office or in my house, I've got 2 of these at the moment. Running software that's connected to all of these different things. So when we look at the API here, you know, Eva the robot would be connected to the Gopher API. Eva would be able to, off of its own volition and proactively, I could say, Eva, you know, over the next month, I'd like you to build me a portfolio of balanced assets in stocks, crypto, and commodities. I've got $10,000 to spend. Please, can you help me allocate that effectively? And I would then leave it to the agent or this entity to manage that request. And in managing that request, you know, for example, here we can see like zone 1 for DCAing. Look, just I fucking love this product, man. It's so fucking good. Just look at this. The first level, 150 to 160. What have we looked at here at the first like range we've got for like, you know, and I hadn't run this, by the way, before we got on this call. Like this is our first zone here. Whereas our second zone, sort of mid-range down here, where we had this like, we're talking about 120 to 125. So this is the next like long-term accumulation zone. This gives me a lot of confidence that I can be really, really patient here, wait for the market to come to me. There's no rush to accumulate NVIDIA right now. Zero rush. Like, we want the market to come to us, right? We don't want to chase it. We want it to be coming down here. Want the market, maybe it's like we continue getting a bunch of shit metrics in the US or wherever. Maybe it comes down here, like accumulating some here, accumulating some down here. So this is giving us like a really clear idea, like for a 5-year position building strategy using DCA, want to be DCAing through this zone, want to be DCAing through this zone. So I can really think about like how we're managing capital, how we're allocating capital, how we're being patient, and marrying this up to agents. Imagine handing this off. So like Eva takes a look at the assets that we're looking at, pings the API, looks at this output, creates a background task or a heartbeat or a task for itself where it's going to take this information, it's then going to execute on this strategy within the bounds that I put, and I just forget about it. Like, I go about my day, I don't need to think about the market, and then I get a ping, Brendan, we've started this strategy, we've started accumulating today. We're starting to build within like our first range. We've allocated like 30% to gold. We've allocated 10% to NVIDIA, 5% here. And you can really start to see how like this fundamental like base that we're building here extends to all of this. Same with OpenClaw. I think when I looked, at an OpenClaw event last night in San Francisco, there was like 800 people. Bear in mind, this is like being in the bubble of San Francisco. But I think there's like 500,000 OpenClaw agents already that have been deployed. That's in like 10 days. We're going to have more agents than there are humans very, very soon. Like, this is going to be an absolutely exponential phase. And when you start looking at some of these multi-agent platforms that have specialist agents, they're actually going to create like businesses. They're going to become real entities. They're going to drive their own P&L. They're going to drive their own strategy. They're going to be both your own personal assistant, but they're also going to be their own like company as well. So this is really exciting. So you can see here like the need for this API. We have everything here. You've got like your quick start. You can get credits for each of the endpoints. We have discovery available. We have sentiment available. We have like the chat endpoint available. So what I just posted here in the NVIDIA trade assistant. Oh, we got a little bit of a bug there with some navigation. We'll fix that. This would be available through the API programmatically. So really easy to get. You can use this in your own apps. You can use it in your own platforms. You can use it from the command line. Wherever the hell you want to put this data, you can now get it. So this is available today. Like, as of today, this is public. You can go on, you can add yourself some credits, get up and running. You can use back testing. You can use the API. You can use the UI. And we're going to go through and iterate a bunch on this over the next week. Then there'll be the marketplace. So as you're in the app here, you have a completed run with a good Monte Carlo. Be a one-click button. You go release to marketplace. You'll go through a flow. You'll put whatever price you want to get for your strategy, whether it's an auction, whether it's a single bid, and then the community can then start like either buying those strategies, running them, so on and so forth. So yeah, a lot of really cool stuff that we're shipping here.
So Brendan, with the release or exposing Gopher's APIs, effectively any agent who wants to take on
any agent
trading has access to the powerful tools we've built.
Absolutely.
So we're incredibly well positioned given this wave of agent creation and the platforms that are now making it, I wouldn't say easier to create agents. We're incredibly well positioned to be the de facto product and data source for agent trading. So
yeah, no one is doing this right now. No one is doing this. And like, no one has the receipts that we've got in terms of how good this is in getting these forecasts. Like Luca, who's on our team, and he was posting in one of our trading chats that we have, when Bitcoin was, I think it was like in like the low 90s, he was able to take he missed the position actually, because he saw the analysis, went and did some family stuff, came back, and the price already broken down, but it gave a very clear target of 82K. And we've obviously gone lower than that. but that was the initial breakdown. So like consistently over the last 3 or 4 months, this has been able to see these breakdowns. And again, like for those of you that are traders on here, and you start like seeing it say this, and you look at a chart like this, like it's bloody obvious what's going to happen to Nvidia here. And if it doesn't break down, great, like awesome, it will continue going higher. Then you wait for a pullback. But like buying here is just, why would you buy here? Like look at all of these stops that are probably clustered on here that are just going to be nuked. Like that is just a market maker's dream. Anyways.
Through talking through that and setting up a trade, you also inadvertently showed some of the fantastic UI and UX updates within the platform itself. The less sexy stuff, not the product launches, but thank you everyone who's been testing and letting us know about resizing issues and so on and so forth.
Oh, yeah.
Brendan smashed those yesterday.
Yeah, like, simple things like this. Oh, like we couldn't move it beyond here up to this, and like, you know, we still get some overflow here, which I'm going to fix today, but you know, that's a little niggle in the components. But basically, you know, if you want a small chart, you're not restricted. You have plenty of chat space, so you can move it however you kind of want, which is great.
Nice. So if you're one of the 400 people listening right now, and you were previously using GoTrader, but got a little anxious and worked up about some UI UX issues, jump back in and you will find yourself having a much better experience. I'm glad to know our community manager mentioned that there's 400 joining us. I was getting a little bit panicked because on my top right on this new stream, I can see 4 viewers. And I was like, what is going on? But it's confirmed that there's 400 of you listening in. So the next thing I want to chat about, this is going over to you, Paul. Brendan mentioned how agents can utilize our tool for analysis. Do we want to set the agents free and actually live trade on the platform? Just kidding, we're not there yet. But
oh no, we're real close.
All right,
yeah.
All right, okay. So as anyone should know, that I get a lot of alpha on here, even though I'm part of the company. These guys are moving incredibly fast. Paul, could you give us a little insight into what you've been cooking and what you're excited about coming out over the course of the next week in and around live trading?
Yeah, absolutely. So I was just coming off mute there. Yeah, so I am actually live trading right now while we're on this call. So yeah, we're really completing the end-to-end process now of how Bart is evolving, back testing and running the Monte Carlo to bring out those strategies that Brendan was just demonstrating. And the ecosystem's really coming together in the fact that with this marketplace, you could be a creator of strategies, you could be an executor of strategies, or you can be both. You can surface a strategy and fancy it yourself, and you can go and trade it. I'm focusing on the command line interface more than the front end application for running the live trading. And really, I've been working on it this week, and it's working well. I'm tightening it up. I'm adding some enhancements. You know, for example, if you've got a strategy and it's only evaluating the market every 15 minutes, you can sit there and you can get a bit like, what's it actually doing? Is it still running? So simple things like a heartbeat. So every 30 seconds, every 1 minute, you get a heartbeat. So if you're looking at the log, you're looking at what it's actually doing, you know it's still alive, okay? And then other things, just from my experience, having built automated and algorithmic trading platforms in the past, and they're a bit of a gimmick. People like them though, is sounds. You know, you put this thing running in the background because psychologically, people get bored and they can start to tinker with things, and you want to know that the thing's running. So having the sounds going, so it can make a sound when it opens a position, it can make a different sound when it takes a profit, it can make a sound when it does a stop loss. It lets you look at what the automated trading bot is doing, but you only look at it when you need to. So you're less inclined to tinker with it. You're less inclined to go and have a look at it. It's running, it's doing its thing. You've got to be patient with these models. These things, you've done the hard work, you've done the back testing, you've got the prompt, you're confident in the model, let it run. Don't start going in, tweaking the prompt. As soon as you do that, you've just broken all the hard work that you've done. So I guess I'm getting into the territory of best practice and discipline. looking at what the markets are that you want to trade on as well. You know, if you are going to look to create your own prompts and you are going to use BART, I personally would only really go and look at markets that I think I know about. You know, if the market that you're confident in, the market that you're knowledgeable in isn't doing anything, just don't trade. Don't start trying to find markets you don't know about. I really think that's important as well. But equally, you can benefit from this marketplace that we are going to create quickly. As Brendan said, it is going to be really cool because some people just want to trade. They don't want to run and create the different models. So it's going to happen. Like I said, I've got live trading going on right now. It's working well. I'm testing other things that people could well be concerned about. Disaster recovery. You got to turn the machine off and turn it back on again. Does it reconnect to Hyperliquid? Does it see the position still there? Does the model reinstate its state before the machine went down? It's doing that as well. You know, this live trading that we're doing, as you're aware, I'm sure it's directly integrated with Hyperliquid. You can run your live trading in the background on BART, and you can go onto the Hyperliquid website and you see the positions that BART has opened. You see the stop loss, you see the take profit. So you can actually use Hyperliquid as a very nice front end, as a window into what your agents are doing, your trade live trading is doing within BART. So that's a really cool feature as well. The software is working great. I'm really happy with it. Like I said, I've got some enhancements. I'm tightening it up. We are trading with real money. We're not doing paper trading anymore. So yeah, it's happening. I mean, it's there. It's going well. It's going to be available very, very soon. And like we talked about, those strategies that we internally within Gopher surface and put onto that repo, they'll be ready for people to lift. So if people want to lift those strategies, I think we will refresh them. I think it's fair to say that those strategies have been around a while. We'll have some nicely, freshly baked strategies going into that repo. And then people that are ready can live trade. It's as simple as that. I would obviously say keep your size small to start off with. Part of the configuration, obviously, for when you execute the strategy is the amount of capital you want to put at risk. The everything else comes off the shelf straight out of what BART has found for you. But yeah, find a nice strategy, find a market you like, set the capital at a low level, build your confidence in the product, and trade.
Let it rip.
Let it rip.
And we'll let you all know when Paul gets this like tighter release out, because the one that we've currently got up doesn't have these doesn't have the changes and the improvements that Paul is talking about. So when that's kind of in Paul's words baked, we'll get that out and ship that to you guys so you can all test, which I'm excited about. And I'm gonna get to the bottom of the long running backtest memory issue. And we're thinking of ways to like make things faster. Like I noticed today that Luca had a strategy exit to Monte Carlo and it went through 100 simulations to get statistical significance. It took 22 hours, and it's because the default Monte Carlo sim is only running 2 simulations in parallel for 100 runs. So you have to go through 50 sequential runs. Going to make stuff like that configurable, so you can really, on like a laptop with a decent amount of memory, you can probably run 100 in parallel and get that banged out in like an hour or something like that. The thing that slows the testing down is that right now we don't cache LLM responses. We always want to have the exact observation of the LLM instead of using a cached observation. So even with the 8 billion parameter model, it's, I think the response time is, let's have a look at what response time we're seeing. And you can kind of like, we should probably have like a better estimator on the app. As I'm sort of saying this, I'm really thinking about this. Like I'm looking right now, it's taking 5.56 tokens per second. Yeah, it's pretty slow. I'm struggling to do the math here. Yeah, it could be taking like 10 seconds or 15 seconds to return a response, and that's because of the provider that we have right now for the 8 billion model that does the inner kind of like the the heavy lifting work. And there's stuff that we're going to do to really see if we can optimize the speed at which the inference is done, but that's like a bit more further down. So there's a limit. Like if you're checking the market every 15 seconds in back testing, you have to go through 4 of those checks for every hour that's passing in back testing. So for 24 hours, you've got 96 checks. Like just in 24 hours, that can take quite a period of time. So again, we'll look to do a better like estimation system. And also as the test goes on, you accumulate more information, which means you're accumulating more tokens, which means that as the test goes on, it's taking longer. And that I think is one of the issues that we're seeing in really long runs, is the accumulation of past history is reaching a point where we're not pruning the blob of data enough. So we're reaching like a limit where it's then crashing. Strategy wrap every month. Yeah. That's a really good idea, Osiris. We're 100% going to do some incentives. Like after seeing the interest at the OpenClaw event, like the first thing that was on my mind this morning was doing some stuff in person here in San Francisco around agents and agents building trading strategies. So I'm going to try and do something like that over the next couple of weeks for in-person events, and then also have like some virtual kind of component to it as well, where people can sort of like participate virtually as well. But that's a really good idea, and have like a prize pool for it, 100%. Making it a little bit more like the arena we had, like Paul was talking about this last night, but really focusing on like strategy development in the same way that like TradingView has done a really good job of monetizing indicators. Like this is our equivalent here. And even like the website, like we had an internal conversation yesterday where the website is going to get nuked, and let me just show you what you should expect. Like the world has changed. I've said this before, Paul and I have been saying this week, you know, websites are dying because the viewer of the website is going to be an agent, and an agent doesn't view a website like we view a website. They view it through like an API or as data. So this is, many of you may have seen this, many of you may not have seen this because you only see it once really. This is TradingView's website. So when you go onto tradingview.com, I'm here in the product. So I can see like the main users of TradingView are trading the S&P 500. Why? Because it's the biggest component here. The next biggest markets are going to be crypto, dollar, and then treasuries. And you can see over here like a watch list. This is my default watch list. I don't curate my watch list. Now, from here, you know, I basically step straight into the product and I can use it. So with GoTrader, you can see today we've got some like changes in the way the flow of the app works, and that is building up to us doing the same thing. So you will see for us, the website will disappear. It will be no more. And when you go to the Gopher website, you'll be straight into a view like this, where you'll have, you know, the trade assistant here. We'll have something like, you know, top trending strategies here. We'll have like, you know, the highest, like the most highly traded assets that's based on like what we're seeing in Discovery. We're going to add stocks, commodities. So it won't just be crypto focused. You'll have like Discovery, like recent top assets here will be, you know, broken into crypto, stocks, commodities, and really kind of like broadening our surface area to make sure that we can provide this tool for any asset that you want to trade. And like the Alpha Royale that we had here before will become almost like a strategy arena, where we can do things like Osiris is suggesting here, where you can kind of, you know, get rewarded or paid for the best strategy, trade those strategies. So you can have like a professional strategy creator, even if you don't want to trade. Like that can be your thing, and you can get paid for it. So that's where we're going. That's where we're going. Awesome, guys. I'm pretty excited. And then, you know, all of the AI agent stuff is also fucking cool as well.
Thanks, guys. So just to recap, while we were on the call, Brendan went live with on GitHub the backtesting strategies that you can start looking into and applying. We've had major updates to BART and major updates to GoTrader, UI UX, and Paul is soon to release the latest update on live trading via Hyperliquid. So quite a lot, as always, going live today. For those who will be diving into the API documents, I recommend either jumping into the GoTrader Telegram if you have any questions or any technical issues, utilizing those. And then we're also active in Discord in a developer channel. Really interested to see what people start doing with those. And we'll also have an X post and potentially article highlighting that release as well today. Before I do our regular sign off, Paul and Brendan, we're at just over 500 now. Great turnout. This is our first time live streaming across platforms.
Given the market, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Given the blood today, that's good.
Anything else you guys want to add before I do our regular disclaimer and wish all the gophers and everyone else on here a happy rest of the week?
Yeah. When I was testing the API this morning, I asked it to look for a good opportunity to enter Bitcoin, given the current drawdown. And again, caveat, not financial advice. It actually wasn't recommending entering now. So this is to sort of express caution to you all. The response I got was, and this is the way that I would trade this market, there's no divergence on the chart on the higher timeframes. Like there's, the levels that we're kind of seeing could get down to 50 here. I'm not a bear caller. I'm just like, I'm an objective technical analyst. And we want to see a divergence on the RSI or like other timeframes, and this could take 3 or 4 months to play out. So if you're trading, use the tools that we have. Be really, really sensible. Keep your risk management tight, and trade carefully, because it's a really volatile market, and no one knows where it's going. So use the tools we've given you. Use your kind of risk parameters like cautiously, and make your own decisions, and don't just follow people that are bull posting, because it's a really volatile market. But within volatile markets, there's a ton of opportunities to make money. Cool. Zach, I'll let you do your disclaimer.
With that, I'll reiterate that this was not financial advice. This the GoTrader tools, as well as Alpha for Everyone live stream, is for educational purposes only. Stay safe out there, as Brendan mentioned, and we look forward to seeing everyone next Thursday with more updates. And look out for information coming to GopherX, Discord and Telegram on all the releases we discussed today. Plenty of opportunities and links for you to get into and start testing everything that we've covered. And really looking forward to hearing everyone's feedback. Adios.
Take care, everyone. Have a great week. Stay safe.